ICE has acquired missiles. New reporting on Monday detailed just how much U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has spent on weaponry since Donald Trump took office. Weapons that have been purchased as the administration has turned federal agents on U.S. cities such as Chicago and Portland, illustrating how the president is treating increasingly armed ICE officers as his private military. Judd Legume at Popular Information recently delved into government contracting records from the federal procurement data system and found that ICE has increased its spending on small arms, ordnance, and ordnance accessories manufacturing by 700% this year compared to 2024 numbers. You thought they weren't roided and armed enough, huh? But no, they've increased it. The agency spent over $71 million, $71.5 million on small arms from January 20, the day Trump began his second term, through October 18. The number dwarfs ICE's, I believe it's little persons. The number little persons ICE is spending during the first Trump term, during which the agency spent about $8.4 million annually on small arms. ICE used to spend $8 million on small arms. Now it's $71 million on arms and missiles. During President Joe Biden's administration, it was $8.4 million. While most of the agency's spending was on guns and armor, there have also been significant purchases of chemical weapons and guided missile warheads and explosive components. Many of you probably heard me say this before, but just a reminder that if you're using chemical weapons, don't do it internationally, because that is a war crime. But if you'd like to use chemical weapons, use them on your own people. That is fine. Nothing wrong with that. ICE and other immigration agencies continue to deploy armed, masked agents in major Democratic-leaning U.S. cities. Sally Duvall, a Texas state House candidate in last year's election, said she was curious to know why ICE needs guided missile warheads. Were you curious, Sally? I'm curious too, why ICE would need guided missile warheads. Can anyone come up with a scenario in which ICE is using guided warheads? Even if, and we know they're assaulting innocent people, they're assaulting U.S. citizens, they're assaulting all kinds of people. But even if ICE were legitimately going after an actual undocumented immigrant gang, like a real one, not a made-up one, like a real one, would they use missiles? Like what scenario is ICE using missiles? I can't even picture it. Legume's analysis, which likely understated total spending on weapons by Trump's deportation forces, as it did not include spending by other anti-immigration agencies. Yes, as you know, there are many agencies that have been doing anti-immigration work, or, racist, get the non-white people work, which is important. You gotta have that in a country. If you want to be a legitimate Western country, you gotta have some good anti or pro get the non-white people actions going on. But it's not just ICE, right? Stuff's been done by DHS, stuff's been done by police officers in general, anti-immigrant stuff's been done by the National Guard. This spending that she's talking about is only ICE, is just talking about ICE. If immigration enforcement apparatus of the United States were its own military, were a country, what would it be ranked of militaries in the world? It would be the 13th most heavily funded military in the world. That's just our anti-immigrant shit, is the 13th most funded military in the world. This puts just our anti-immigrant army among national militaries ahead of, more spending than, Poland, Italy, Australia, Canada, Turkey, and Spain, and just barely below Israel. That's how much we spend on going after innocent people because they don't have a little piece of paper that makes them a real person. Real people have this piece of paper